Hey, the video you're about to see is designed to help you increase your wildlife encounters as you travel through Yellowstone. We just got back a couple of days ago, so this information is pretty recent, and hopefully you won't spend a couple of days driving around in circles and not seeing much wildlife like we did. So I made this video to kind of help the people that are coming this time of year. We were there from September 7th through September 14th. And unfortunately, as the way it usually goes, you learn your information towards the end of the trip that you wish you'd had at the beginning of the trip. So that's why I'm sharing it with you. After this video, I will also have a second video that's going to be full of tips and tricks to help your wildlife encounters go a little bit better. This is not a Yellowstone geyser and thermal activity video or the sights and things to see there in Yellowstone. No, this is just about wildlife encounters and helping you increase your grizzly bears and moose and pronghorn antelopes and elk and mule deer and bison and everything you can think of, wolves, all of those sightings. So it's exciting to be there, and you really want to see the wildlife. It's one of the main attractions at Yellowstone. So thanks for watching the video, and enjoy your vacation, your upcoming vacation to Yellowstone. Somewhere around here, around the Soda Butte Creek area, Lamar Valley is going to end, and you're going to start going up into bigger mountain ranges. There's a picnic table area right here. It's right on the side of the road, and you'll know it because Soda Butte actually goes under the road and becomes on your left side if you're headed northeast out of the park. When that changes, when that river goes from your right to your left, look for a restroom and a picnic area, and now you are in mountain goat country. Start looking on, this is a good spot to pull over. Start glassing this area, these cliffs, and then just past this, you will see a meadow on your left with parking area and a huge sheer cliff on your left also behind the meadow. That is a known mountain goat area. If you're looking for mountain goats and you want to see one, I highly recommend this area. And as with viewing all wildlife in Yellowstone, I highly recommend binoculars or a spotting scope. If you have a camera with an incredibly large zoom lens, that may work as well. I don't have one of those, but we used binoculars, and sometimes you're lucky enough to find a person on the side of the road with a spotting scope that will let you look through it. But I highly recommend some type of magnification, because these mountain goats are going to look like little bitty dots with the naked eye. You won't even realize they're mountain goats. They're that far away, that far up in the mountains. Also, so when you come back, that's the mountain goat area right here. Focus on this area of the Absaroka. I don't know how to pronounce that, but this is the Absaroka mountain range. And you'll know it because, like I said, you came out of Lamar Valley and went into a cliff area. All right, now, as you'll turn around, you'll come back through Lamar. Expect a lot of buffalo. Later in the afternoon, you're going to run into buffalo jams. They're going to be in the middle of the road. You will not be able to move very fast. As a matter of fact, everything that you see in the park, when it gives you a distance in mileage, the good rule of thumb would be to double that mileage. So if it says, hey, it's 20 miles, it's going to take you about 40 to 45 minutes to go that 20 miles. I would say an average speed in the park is around 30 miles an hour, maybe 40, but typically 30. And if you run into a wildlife traffic jam, it will definitely slow you down. Lamar Valley has a lot to look at. There is an area right here called Slough Creek. It is a 2.5 mile gravel road that goes back to a camping area. I would recommend you take every single road that you can and go down and just see what's down there if you're looking for wildlife. At Slough Creek, in the creek, is a bison carcass. That was a result of 2 bison fighting. This happened on last Monday, so that would have been September 9th. and that has been a feeding spot for wolves ever since. It is a rare find. It is something that you, if you're going to be in Yellowstone, sorry, I knocked the camera with my chair. If you're going to be in Yellowstone with the next, I would say, week, I would highly recommend you go down the Slough Creek area and try to find that bison carcass and see if maybe the wolves are still feeding on it. As you go down the Slough Creek Road, you will notice there are hills that will allow you access on top of. What you're trying to do, park your car and walk on top of those mounds. Back in this area is a known wolf den of the Junction Butte wolf pack, and you will need spotting scopes and magnification binoculars or something along those lines, because they are a long ways off. They are very skittish of humans, and when you think you're going to see a wolf, you need to think about seeing it from a half a mile or greater. Sometimes a mile away is as close as you're going to be. If you get any closer than that, consider it a blessing. This Slough Creek with the bison carcass is one of those rare blessings that if you're there within the next week or so, I would highly recommend that. Now, this upper loop here, we found to be the best as far as wildlife sightings, as far as visually pleasing to the eye. Lots of large open spaces and mountain ranges. This Blacktail Plateau Road is a one-way 7-mile road. It was closed when we were there, and I don't know why. I think it's due to road condition. We did not get to go down this road, but I would highly recommend that. Right now, the bear are in high elevations, and by high elevations, I mean 8,500 foot or higher. So you're going to find that at Dunraven Pass and the Mount Washburn area. If you're traveling this upper loop, that is a good spot to see bear. They are feeding up high right now on moth, larvae, worms, pine nuts, that sort of thing, and they are gorging themselves, and they're very difficult to find. So you're going to need to stay in this higher range. One area, I'm going to scroll the map down. One area that was suggested to us for grizzly locations is Fishing Bridge area. There are a couple of what they would call road grizzlies in this area right here, particularly around the Lake Butte area. If you'll notice, you're getting real close to 8,500 feet. That is definitely high elevations, and this entire road all the way up to Sylvan Pass and Avalanche Peak, that's still really high elevations. Good road for wildlife. It is very scenic, very sheer cliffs. You're not going to have the valleys like you would in Lamar or Hayden Valley, but we were lucky enough to right here, I mean just right at the entrance, still inside the park, so somewhere right in this range, we saw moose and bighorn mountain sheep that crossed the road right in front of us. That is going to be a lot of luck involved in that. The moose population inside Yellowstone National Park is only about 200, so you're better off seeing moose in Grand Tetons than you are seeing it in Yellowstone, but it is possible. We saw a bull moose and a cow moose right in this area, and they were about 1 mile away from where we saw our bighorn sheep. So that's pretty awesome. I'll show some pictures of what we got to see in what area a little later on. But the Fishing Bridge area here is known for grizzly activity, so much so that they do not allow tent camping in this area anymore because of the bear activity. Camping is reserved for hard-sided vehicles such as RVs and motorhomes. We were not very lucky as far as seeing much on this southern road into Yellowstone. As a matter of fact, the entire lower loop we were not very lucky at. Now, one thing, there's a place here called Hayden Valley that I would highly recommend. That is in the lower loop, and it is just as good as Lamar Valley. If I can scroll just a little bit. Okay, so you have your Lamar Valley here, Hayden Valley's here, and if I were you and you wanted to see wildlife, I would come all the way down to, see if I can scroll this up just a touch. I would come all the way down to the fishing bridge area, and oops, sorry. I would run about where the Lake Butte area is. I would do a U-turn, I would come back, and I would drive right back through Hayden, make my loop back to Lamar, and I would just keep running this C-shaped drive over and over. Pay attention mostly to early mornings and late evenings. And when I say early mornings, I mean before it is light. And when I say late evenings, I mean until it is complete pitch black dark. There are a lot of animal movements that don't happen until our human eyes are almost, we've almost played out. You will need some type of light gathering magnification device. And surprisingly, your iPhone or your Samsung works really, really well. Those lenses do really good at grabbing what little light is in the area. And we were fortunate enough to see animals by looking through our phone, because the naked eye just would not allow us to see it. So that's another tip or trick. When it gets really, really late, use your phone to help extend those viewing hours. In the Mammoth Hot Springs area, that is a mega center for the elk. They are in the National Park headquarters area around all the buildings. They like to eat the fresh manicured grass. It was nothing, and I mean nothing, to see 50, 60, maybe 100 elk wandering the Mammoth Hot Springs area. Definitely the hot spot in the park for elk. You're going to see elk in a lot of places, but the masses are going to be in the Mammoth Hot Springs area. From what we saw, watch out for mule deer. Mule deer can be just about anywhere, but like I said, we did see elk on the upper loop. We saw elk on the lower loop, but nothing like this Mammoth Hot Springs area. Swan Lake is kind of a valley-ish area. It looks really, really, really good. We were not lucky at seeing animals in that area, but it does look good. Again, Mammoth for elk, Lamar for just about everything, for sure buffalo, wolf, and if you get over here in the Absaroka, I don't know how to pronounce that. If you get over here in these steep cliffs, you'll see mountain goats, and then Lamar Valley, Hayden Valley, liable to see just about anything: bear, wolf, moose, elk, definitely a lot of buffalo. Hope that helps you in finding out your animals for Yellowstone. That was what we experienced September 7th through September 14th. So we just got back on Saturday. I'm making this video on a Monday, and this information probably won't be relevant but for a couple of weeks, unless you happen to be going next year in the middle of September. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.